A very good evening to all our viewers. Thank you for joining us on this Monday evening on the Evening Review. My name is Koevoet, your host. Let's have a look at tomorrow's headlines in Namibian Sun. Tonight on the show, we are joined by Jabulani Ndeunyema. He is a chairperson of the Namibia War Veterans Trust, Namvet, to talk about some of their trust position on several issues as they concern the former soldiers of Koevoet and the Southwest Africa Territorial Force, that is SWATF. They have specific demands that they've been making for a long time, and tonight we are going to hear that from the horse's mouth. Jabu, welcome to the show. Thank you for making time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Maybe to put things into perspective, give me a sense of yourself. You're a former soldier fighting in one of these wings of the South African apartheid government. When did you join, and under what conditions did you join those forces?
I joined the South Africa Army in 1984.
Yeah.
And to your question, that the condition that possible forced me to join SWATF, I do not want to discuss mostly personal. Why did I join? I want to discuss why did maybe SWATF Koevoet join the South Africa Territorial Force.
Yeah.
There are so many reasons that force Namibian to join SWATF or Koevoet. And sometimes I can say the reason that forced Namibian to join SWATF or Koevoet are almost the same as the reason that forced Namibian to join Swapo. Yeah, for example, that you have sometimes it depends who you are, where you grow up, who were your friends, and the influence you can get from people, you see. And sometimes you see there were I don't think there's anyone who will tell you that I joined SWATF or Koevoet to go and beat up people. There were no such things. But majority join because of, for example, poverty. South Africa government was the only government there to create job for Namibian and so on. Also, the other thing, you know, as a man, and you know, if you are having your son, you go with your son to the shop and you say, when you enter the shop, you ask your son, what can I buy for, what type of toy can I buy for? He'll just say, buy for me a gun. You see, some of those things. And the other thing is that that forced Namibian to join was the poverties that was in Namibia. Those are some of the reasons that forced Namibian to join the SWATF Koevoet.
Indeed. So in your particular case, I know that you don't want to talk about yourself, you want to generalize it, but you know, for someone that is very vocal, I thought, is it because you regret the reason that you used, that the reason that forced you to join? Do you have an element of shame of that reason, or why is it difficult to say why you joined?
Shame of...
no, because you know, you said there's so many reasons why people joined.
Yeah.
Some people talk about conscription, for example.
Yeah.
They were forced to join. Others willingly joined for different reasons.
Yeah.
Some reasons can be understood.
Yeah.
Some maybe seem as trivial and therefore shameful why they joined.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe in your case, why is it difficult to say why you joined? Maybe just is it personal, too personal?
That's why I say I don't want to go too personal, because when I joined SWATF, I was at school. You see, I started my secondary to rural secondary. I went to Congo, then I went to Ongwajua College of Education. It's from there I joined SWATF. I don't want to go personal, but sure. What I would say is that the reason that forced Namibian to join SWATF Koevoet were those reasons that I gave you. Yeah. What else do you want me to say?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, your trust, the Namvet Trust, has been pushing for certain welfare and privileges to be accorded to former soldiers who fought on the side of South Africa.
Yeah.
We have, for many years, we had some of the former soldiers camping in Katutura for a very long time, demanding that they be recognized as veterans of the liberation struggle, just like Swapo former soldiers have been recognized.
Yeah.
What makes you think that this equal ground between those who fought for independence of Namibia, as Swapo would say, and people have a perception that the SWATF and Koevoet were actually fighting against independence? Why must you be treated the same?
Let me make it clear here. Yeah. In all our demand, we never demanded to be recognized as freedom fighters. Yeah. No. A former SWATF Koevoet will never be a freedom fighter. He will be just a military veteran. Yeah. And the reason why we demanded is that you know, when Namibia got independence, there was a reconciliation introduced, and we thought that the salvation of SWATF and Koevoet is in the hand of Namibian government. We did not expect that Namibia government to ignore, to punish the former SWATF and Koevoet just because they fought them during the liberation struggle. And the other thing is that it's only that Swapo is disrespect the policy of national reconciliation. Or one thing I can say, Swapo is a dishonest, it's a serial dishonest organization. That's why they violate the policy of national reconciliation, and otherwise no other reason. Because you see contribution made by former SWATF and Koevoet, I would say is equal to contribution made by plant fighters.
In what way?
For example, plant fighter, they left the country to go and fight for independence of Namibia, freedom and independence. We remain in Namibia. We joined SWATF Koevoet to fight for democracy, justice, and human rights in a country that is equal. And we must be recognized as military veterans. Our contribution is that today Namibia is a constitutional democracy because of ours. We, the former SWATF, at independence, Namibia had no scar of war because of the sacrifice of SWATF Koevoet. We saved Namibia from falling in the hand of the Marxist communist Cuban who have no history of human rights in the world. We also save Namibia from falling in the hand of a looter Swapo, especially on the 1st of April. Remember when South Africa fought the United Nations peace plan and entered Namibia illegally. Those are some of the contribution we made, and also when they left Namibia to go and fight for the country, they did so. They went to fight for the country, thinking that they will free Namibia by the barrel of gun, coming back to Namibia and install a communist government. But when they went there, they failed to win the war. They were sterilized, disarmed, and come back as refugee. As refugee. They do not come as freedom fighters. They return to Namibia as refugee. The way they went is the way they come back. They just come back with their briefcase, the sunglass, and each maybe with 2 Soviet military panties, what they were given by the Soviets. But that's all.
But Jabu, let me challenge you on this thing. So Swapo went to war because the conditions in this country were unbearable, especially for the black majorities of this country. They were discriminated racially, and opportunities were not accorded to black people in this country, as opposed to their white compatriots. Swapo demanded that these things change, and or the OPOs and the OPCs of those days. When this could not be attained, that's when they took up arms and say, we are now going to wage a war of the liberation struggle. Now you are saying that you guys were contributing towards democracy. In what way, if the regime that you are fighting for was actually opposed to what Swapo was demanding, the equal treatment of all Namibians and stuff like that?
Listen, I understand your question. It has been posed by many, but the question is still, were there a need for Swapo to take up arms that time? I don't think so. You see, Swapo could have avoided war to avoid unnecessary death. Swapo just went abroad to just created war that caused death for unnecessary, because they did not. Swapo did not rebuild this country. Is the crime. I would say there were no need for Swapo to create war. You remember when Swapo during the 50 and 60, when Swapo went to fight for liberation, when took up arms, there was also Swapo on the other side who was saying, let us negotiate with Swapo. Why now Swapo does not want war, even at a neighboring country? Swapo was behind the war in Angola between UNITA and Sam Nyoma was behind the negotiation between MPLA and UNITA. Why they do not want to negotiate? That was unnecessary war.
Because it was unbearable to fight that, to push for those reforms inside this country. People risked, they would have been shot dead. Even Swano that you're talking about, Swano didn't take up arms, but Swano also didn't fight they were advocating, but from abroad, using their words of mouth, of course, but not from here. The likes of Professor Garina and others, they were in the United States, away from Namibia.
But you are talking about people who were killed, were brutally...
Because those were the realities.
Yes, but how many people were brutally abused, you see? And majority of people did not run away, they were here. You see, they just ran away cowardly. They were supposed to be here. And during those days when they took up do you know that we were both of us were fighting proxy war? That war we're fighting were not our war. Because that time it was the war when the whole world was divided. It was divided into blocks, the West, the American and others, who wanted to have Namibia under its space of ideology. And the other side was the Soviet Union and the Chinese, who wanted also the world. We Namibian, we end up divided. Now Swapo followed the path that ended in a deadlock. You see, I don't. Yes, well, they claim today that they liberate Namibia, but I don't think so. They created the unnecessary war.
They created the unnecessary war.
Yeah.
We go for a quick break, and then we return this exciting conversation with Jabulani Ndeunyema.
Strike it gold and win 5,000 Namibian dollars in cash with Neo Paints. Simply buy Neo Paints products from the selected range and stand a chance to get one of 12 mystery buckets filled with gold paint. All 12 winners will each get 3 extra paint buckets equal to their purchase. One to replace the gold paint, the second to use on your project, and the third to give to a charity of their choice. One winner can score another 10,000 Namibian dollars by showing us your creative use of the golden paint. The best project wins the cash. Offer is valid from 27 September to 18 December at your favorite hardware store nationwide. Visit us at neopaints.com for more competition details and follow us on Facebook for weekly competition updates. Neo Paints, a coat of excellence.
If you're feeling, I'm feeling, and you know I won't stop. All we gotta do is take our love to the top. If I got it and you want it, and you'll never let it drop. All we gotta do is take our love to the top. I will ride for you, baby, even die for you. When I'm loving you, but my heart don't stop.
We continue our conversation with Jabulani Ndeunyema, who is a chairperson of the Namibia War Veterans Trust. Now, Jabu, before the break, you briefly touched on the issue of reconciliation. In the context of this topic, how is that, in what way did you think that reconciliation would be implemented? Because from my point of view as a layman, I thought it just to say that let bygones be bygones, no more war, no retribution, no revenge afterwards. But now the country is there for all of us to pursue our own life goals, and not that anyone was owed anything by anyone.
No one owe anyone anything, but what you see, the only problem at the independence is that in the negotiation that were made by those politicians and those who were on our side, politicians were on our side and politicians on Swapo side, there were no one of SWATF or Koevoet. That's a problem. We do not know what was discussed there. And the question is that, what made me to join the Namibian force? Namibia Defense Force. It's because of the policy of national reconciliation. You see, as how I understand it was that reconciliation was mostly introduced to make sure that there is peace between the two former soldiers, because they are the only soldier the person who can make war, who can destroy everything. And the moment you recognize me as a Namibian, former SWATF Koevoet, and you allow me to join the Namibia Defense Force, what will happen to me after retirement? You see? Listen, in every country where there is a military, there must be a military veteran. And the moment I retire from the military, I must join the military veteran. That's how I understand reconciliation. That's how I understand that reconciliation should make sure that SWATF Koevoet are treated equal as plant fighter. That's why at the independence we share everything. We do not have problem. Why should you have but I don't want to get into that. It is difficult for me to answer your question. It is very easy question, but it is sometimes difficult to answer it because I was not in a negotiation during the...
I hear you.
Yeah.
In what way do you think reconciliation has not been applied equally to former Swapo fighters and the South African apartheid fighters? In what way are you being treated differently?
Things are clear. That's why you hear Swapo leaders are insulting us, are still reminding us. You remember in 2004 when we were demanding. You see, we expected our government, our Namibian government, to treat us equal. The moment you say I should not benefit, then reconciliation is not applied. You see.
What do you want to benefit from?
What's your question?
Well, from what do you want to benefit?
The resources of Namibia. And you know one thing. SWATF and Koevoet are just like a human being without any certificate. A human being, the majority, 70% of SWATF and Koevoet are people who never enter even in any school classes, just like plant fighters. You see, the only benefit that the only way I can benefit is if you can recognize me as a military veteran. They start benefiting there. That's the only way. That's all.
But Jabu, give me a practical example. From what do you want to benefit? Do you want to benefit, for example, the former plant fighters? They have this. These things that they get, the 200,000, the 50,000, the monthly income. Is that what you are also asking for? Because we are told, Nikki Yambo, I interviewed him many years ago, may his soul rest in peace. He said these benefits are a token of appreciation for helping towards the attainment of independence. What narrative must we use in your case to get these benefits?
Listen, we are not demanding to be paid like now the 200,000 and the 50,000, but at least we must receive something as former soldiers, as a military veteran. We must receive soldiers so that we can feel peace, so that we can feel that reconciliation is working. We must be treated equal. You see, for example, like now. Plant fighters are still demanding to be given other money and so on. And I don't want to talk about plant fighters. They are having their issue now. They are also having their own problem with their government. But during our meeting with the president, we had a meeting with the president in 2016. We discussed a lot of things. I don't want to reveal, I'm not going to reveal everything what you discussed. We discussed a lot of things. And the president gave us advice to do this and this. We went back and do those things. But when we submitted those things, things went quiet. We don't know what's happening. At least, I don't know, the government of Namibia must give us something so that we can, to benefit, to feel love, to feel togetherness in our country, you see? Yeah. Otherwise, here we are feeling like nobody wants us. We are now facing opportunity from our own government. We are feeling now humiliated. We are feeling now this is a retribution. You see.
Yeah. So if the country became independent like it did, you know, the narrative, Jabu, is that you guys fought against not only independence but against equality, against democracy, against all these things that we are enjoying today. Now, how do you think Namibians will feel when I, as a taxpayer, am told that a portion of my money now is going to people who were opposed to the concept of free society from which I'm benefiting and making this money to fund your benefits?
Listen, first, I did not fight against human rights. I did not fight against democracy. I did not fight against freedom. I fought for those. I stopped Swapo to come in Namibia to introduce. Do you know that Swapo? You were still young those days. If you maybe in 1989 you were there. Swapo was a ruthless organization that time, my friend. If you do not know, I don't want to talk nonsense here, but I'm only saying Swapo was a ruthless. If we could have allowed Swapo to take over this country the way they wanted, all of us, it could be tragic in this country. You see, we fought for that. You see, our contribution to Namibia will not be seen or will not be recognized because I know you, I know those guys because Swapo have a political power. But coming to the question now of to the citizen as a taxpayer feeling bad maybe if the money paid to me, who is that taxpayer? Whose money is that taxpayer received? That is my money. That is not your money. That is my money. That money you receive, that money that taxpayer received, come from my resources. Those are resources that were given by God. We should share these resources equal. There's no way that you can tell me that because I fought against Swapo during the war, I should not benefit. There's nothing like that. We are talking about, this is a new Namibia. We talk about, even Sam Newman said, we are Namibia, new Namibia with new things. So we forget about Koevoet, SWATF, we forget about the terrorists and so on. This is Namibia. We should all benefit equal. There are only way. Because of my education level, I cannot benefit like the other people, or because Swapo, the government, and the plant fighter are Swapo kid, they can benefit that way as they were receiving those token. But Swapo government should find a way to make sure that SWATF could benefit this way. For example, you give them. We are not talking about 50,000, 200,000 that were given to plant. That is something else. That is fine. They were given that to wash the dust that were running around in a bush. Now they are having a ministry, a department of veterans. Create something there. Bring in SWATF Koevoet there. Tell them, go and register there. At every end of the month, get 250, equal as them as the plant fighter. That is enough. Yeah. At least we must buy something so that we can feel.
Yeah. It's a very daring request, Jabu. Of course, it's a conversation that has gone on for a very long time, and we are in a democratic Namibia where people can express their feelings and their aspirations. I understand that aspect. But to think that somehow government will say, because like I was saying, with Swapo, and there are certain things that I do not agree with in terms of the benefits extended to Swapo. I think, for me, I think they're excessive. I think they're too much. Yeah. But, and I also believe that there are people in this country, especially children, because there's children of the liberation struggle who were accorded opportunities even abroad to go to school, opportunities that children who were born in this country did not have. And to come now and say somehow they must receive special treatment at the expense of the children who were here, who were denied basic rights, basic access to things like education, I think that is unfair. So it's the excessiveness that I disagree with. But in principle, I agree actually that the Swapo plane fighters deserve that token. And that is why the token, if I replicate the same word and say, if those guys are getting that as a courtesy, as a token of appreciation, you are getting this as a token of what?
No. It should not. I should not benefit from my resources because of a token of anything. You see, I should benefit from the resources. The government, the responsible government, should give me something to feel home, to benefit from my resources of my country, not to be, as a token of anything. Yeah. Swapo recognize only plant fighters. Yeah. That is fine. We don't have problem with that. You see, yeah. But where am I going to be? How am I? You see, do you just want to tell me, as they used to tell us that we should go to hell, we should go and wait for pension and so on. You want to tell me I should just sit home, waiting to die from hunger, while people are running around with my resources down there, or I eating my just alone my resource, my diamond, my fish and so on there. There's nothing like that. Make plan. You see, I'm a soldier. I one time I said, if a snake that was killed there, don't step there. It's still dangerous to step there. You see, we are soldiers. I also saying that I thank the former soldier because they are so peaceful. Otherwise, if we are not peaceful, we would have go out. We can create anything here. Do you know that? We can create anything. Don't just judge me that Jabulani are old and so on. Yeah. And the other thing is that why is there such a question from you Namibians? Why are you asking me that I want to be recognized as freedom fighter? Why should I want to receive a token as extended to blind fighter? Why are you posing that question in Namibia? What is Namibia then? Yeah. Are we not human beings like people in South Africa? Are we not human beings like people in Angola? Yeah. In Angola, UNITA and MPLA are treated equal. Those former soldiers are treated equal, are all benefit. Yeah. In South Africa, white people, our former boss, the Boer, they are treated equal, they benefit equal, they are having medical aid, they receive monthly salary. They receive 400,000 ransom. Why this cannot happen in Namibia? During 2019 election, we are having a political party also. Yeah, we went to meet the election observer there. Both of them were Zimbabweans. We went to meet them. We asked them how your former soldiers are treated there in Zimbabwe. They are saying you can go to them and ask them. They will tell you in Zimbabwe, former soldier who fought against the ZANU-PF. Who fought on the side of Ian Smith are paid money, receiving monthly salary, and they were also paid a ransom, but they are not recognized as military veterans, just like Namibia. But here in Namibia, nothing. Yeah, you see.
Yeah, I have as we wrap up this conversation, Jabu, there's one question that I need to ask you. Today, we have come of age as a country. Yeah. When you joined the SWATF in you said 1984. Yeah. You were a young man. Yeah. A child, perhaps in many ways still. Yeah. In hindsight to today, when you have seen now the context of the war and starting to understand each other with Swapo and why everybody fought from the angle that they fought. Yeah. Do you have any regrets? Do you think that if I knew then what I know today, I would have done things differently? Or would you, if there was an opportunity you're going to rejoin those forces, you would still join?
My brother, how can I be doing a great job and regret? You see, there's nothing like that. That's why I said Namibia is today constitutional democracy because of me. The other guy is saying he brought those rights and so on. But I say it is me who countered them, who make sure that they are not coming in Namibia. There must be no regret on that.
Would you fight for another foreign government in your own country against your own people if the opportunity arose? Because that is what many people interpret what happened. That a foreign government came here, recruited Namibians to fight against fellow Namibians. If another foreign government with the same aspiration comes today, would you do it?
Today,
yes.
Currently in this situation where there is no employment, and it will not be me alone.
Yeah.
It will not be me alone. Because you see, the whole issue, what is happening is about money. It's about interest. People are talking about money. It is about money. People don't care about who died from what or who fight against who. People are talking about money. Money is very, very important. That's why you see a lot of things are happening. People are going to witch doctor to kill their children because of money and so on. But if you bring me money, don't forget about, let's go quickly on 36.
Yeah, so let's touch on that 36 million in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
There's this question that the apartheid government left 36 million. Swapo always says that this money was part of the reconciliation package. It was put there not for a particular group, but for the two warring parties to benefit from. And Swapo defends that this is actually what happened.
Let me quickly make it clear that there have been a lot of distortion about 36 million. You know, 36 million was a tremendous amount of money. We could have saved money. And they could have, even tomorrow, if they go to the bank, to Standard Bank and say, give those money, we will stop demanding anything from Swapo. And just listen, according to Treasury instruction then, before Minister of Finance, there was a Treasury instruction. Currently, it's a Finance Act. You are not allowed to touch anyone's salaries. Listen, Swapo thievery behavior did not only started yesterday. Did not only started with GIPF money and fish rod. These people have started stealing. They have started stealing the plant fighter money that they are demanding now. Then from there they come to our 36 million. Listen, 36 million was not our pension. We had no pension that time. 36 million was not pension, was not even a compensation as some of them introduced it. 36 million was the salary of SWATF and Koevoet for 8 months. Do you understand? It was a salary for SWATF and Koevoet for 8 months. Remember, the peace plan, the peaceful agreement, the 435 agreement was saying that on the 1st of April, Swapo must go back to 16 parallel. SWATF and Koevoet must completely demobilize. You see, by then, we demobilized on the 28th of February 1989. By that day, when we went to receive our last salary at Oshakati Sector 10, we received the salary of 3 months. It was February, March, and April. We received salary cash. Then the last 8 months, because you see, the thing is that our contract with South Africa was supposed to end in December. That's why South Africa pay us this salary, 3 months salary, then remain the 8 months salary. Then when they went back, they went to prepare that money after independence. After Namibia got independence, they went back, prepared that money, and the paymaster in South Africa wanted to come back to Namibia to pay out the money on the to pay to us in a hand. The Namibian government, same informed them that no, you cannot come here and pay our people. These are our people. We take care of them, and so on. Send the money. We are going to pay them. Then South Africa paid the money direct in Standard Bank. Then when the money went into Standard Bank, the government see the money. Then they started to be as distributed that money. Everybody receive share on that money. You see, I'm having all this information. Before I started this Namvet issue, I went to South Africa to find out all those information. I'm having the information. We cornered the then Minister of Finance, Carlos Leswen. I'm having a letter that he sent us that the money is with Standard Bank. We corner Standard Bank. There are still maybe 4 letters at Standard Bank where I asked them, what we want Standard Bank to do now is that Standard Bank must open the dossier that consists the information about SWATF Koevoet money. Is what we want to see. And I hope soon we are going to get information. But otherwise, things are going well. Negotiation with the government is going well. Do not just fabricate story that we're fighting against and so on. Things are going well. Standard, we are having a communication with the government. Communication with the government is still there. Hope soon, then later, something is going to happen.
Indeed. Mr. Ndeunyema, thank you very much for your time. I think it was important to speak to you and reflect more frankly on these conversations.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right.
That is Jabulani Ndeunyema. He's chairperson of the Namibia War Veterans Trust, filling us in on those issues that he just spoke about. Thank you for watching.